Oh boy, look at what I found when I cracked open the new High Republic comic this weekend. It's a Star Wars universe timeline from Lucasfilm with all the movies and TV shows placed on it. Oh, this is so great. I'm so excited for you to go through this with me. I am so excited about Star Wars based off of this. But you might be asking, but wait a minute, Grace, how was the comic? It was good enough that I'll continue to read it. It ended on quite the cliffhanger. I gotta pick up issue number 2 now. And I really like the new Jedi Keve and her reptile master Skier. It's great. You know, everybody was very disappointed that Finn didn't become a Jedi, so at least Keve is getting a shot at that. But I do feel that once again, Star Wars is too female-centric. I wouldn't have gone with, you know, the 2 human leads being both women. You want, you know, balance to the Force there must be. So I think that someone should put that on a plaque in Kathleen Kennedy's office, forever how much longer she's there. But anyway, back to this timeline. And she oversaw this, to be fair, and I think this is definitely, to me, a path forward and backward, because as you can see, it covers quite a bit of time. Remember how I told you that Star Wars is going to replicate the MCU's world building, but with the added benefit of a vast timeline? Well, here it is in all its glory, and seeing it laid out like this, it not only really starts to come into focus, but it seems like a very feasible plan, and I feel an exciting plan. So I'm going to break it down as well as lay out where upcoming projects, movies and TV, will fall on this timeline. It fits together. I love a good plan. I love it when a plan comes together, and this is like really nice. The Star Wars story team, I think, did a nice job untangling this ball of knots. This mess. It looks pretty good. All right, so the first takeaway here is that we now have distinct phases where different groups are in control. So each era should feel different, because so far, before The Mandalorian, we've really only seen the rebels aggressively taking on the Empire or the First Order, which is the Empire 2.0. And they should have just called them the Empire again, because they were the Empire. But anyway, we also have the prequel era, which was the fall of the Jedi and the birth of Darth Vader. But that story was so Vader and Obi-Wan centric. Not that I'm complaining, but it wasn't like still a big picture story. More so in the Clone Wars, and that's why people like the Clone Wars animated series so much. But still, it's always spunky rebels largely versus the evil Empire, right? But Mando introduced the era of the New Republic, where the rebels are in charge, trying to build an official government, going from cool rebels to, you know, parent in charge. I think that's fun. I think that's very interesting. And then the Empire becomes the one challenging them. They're the spunky rebels, you know, the evil rebels, which I think that's been one of the most interesting parts of The Mandalorian. And now we have 2 other eras being added. Reign of the Empire is where the Empire was at the height of its powers, largely unchallenged. And then this new the High Republic, where the Jedis are unchallenged and flourished before Order 66 and Revenge of the Sith basically made them an endangered species. So let's break down each era in order, and I'm also going to give you some idea of the time span and the timeline. All right? So this is so helpful. This should be like printed up as a pamphlet with the stuff that I'm adding to it about the years, and I think it would really help put the shows in perspective and give some orientation to fans. But this timeline is a good start, and I'm going to do the rest for you right now. So we'll start not with the prequels, but with the High Republic, which ends about 50 years before The Phantom Menace. And the entire High Republic era is about 200 years. Lucasfilm is now only beginning to tell stories during this time because they just invented it. A number of upcoming books and comic books are coming out starting this year. They were like, you want more Jedi? How about the golden age of the Jedi? So we're getting books, and this comic book just came out. And I believe the first book has come out as well. And the upcoming Disney Plus show, The Acolyte, is also set during this era. But it's not about a Jedi. It's going to explore the emergence of the dark side powers, which surely help bring about the end of the High Republic, this golden age of the Jedi. That's going to be good stuff. All right, next. So that's about 200 years, but the Acolyte, since it's going to be at the tail end, will be about 50 years. And it's important. You want to have characters that could show up in other sections of the timeline. I think that's where you really find your groove. I think that's where this really works out well. But it could always be descendants, right? It could always be, a descendant of a character that everybody really likes. So that works too. That's very clever. That's the kind of MCU world building we like to see. Why won't DC do this? Maybe once Star Wars fully gets on board with this, DC will be like, we're the only one not doing it. What? All right, so next, Fall of the Jedi, aka the prequels. Here, the dark side corrupted Anakin Skywalker and executed Order 66. They were very productive. All right, the popular Dave Filoni, they're like, that was a great time for us. All right, the popular Dave Filoni, The Clone Wars also takes place in this time period and actually intertwines story-wise with the prequels, fleshing them out, and that did a lot to make those movies more popular with fans. Even I feel better about the prequels. Having just watched the final 4 episodes of The Clone Wars, I was like, suddenly I'm more interested in the prequels. All right, so this era takes place over 13 years, and there are no upcoming projects set during this time period that we know of. Kevin Feige and Taika Waititi's movies are still a mystery. Next, Reign of the Empire. Now, these are the 19 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, when Luke Skywalker grows up, and Luke and Leia. And so that's this time period. Again, this is the time when the Empire is in control and is met with little resistance. But some resistance, because the upcoming The Bad Batch show takes place here, as did the Solo movie. Now, as for upcoming projects, it's about to get busy in here. Obi-Wan will be set here, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, because, the actors got older and they're not going to de-age them. So that puts it smack in the middle of this era. Obi-Wan has gone to Tatooine to look after Luke, and with a young Leia also reportedly cast for the show, he'll likely be keeping tabs on both of Anakin's twins, which is nice. I like that. Leia doesn't get enough respect, damn it. I mean, they even put her off so long that Carrie Fisher tragically passed away before they could give her a chance in the spotlight. That's really bad. Star Wars will never live that down. But anyway, Anakin, aka Darth Vader, will also be here with the return of Hayden Christensen, which was just recently announced at Disney Investor Day. And this will be a good time to be Vader, as again, the Empire is in charge. Remember how everyone feared him when he showed up at the end of Rogue One? Well, hopefully we'll get to see him build his reputation up during this show. That's fantastic. I mean, are they really to put Hayden Christensen under a mask for this whole thing? Some of you feel there might be flashbacks. We'll see. I don't know, maybe he takes it off sometimes. Maybe Kylo Ren is more like him than we thought. Although he's all messed up under there. We'll see what they decide to do. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Hayden Christensen, I'm sure, is like, I don't care. I welcome the work. All right, now. Also, the Lando show. Rumors are that this will be a show with flashbacks, so they can use both Billy D. Williams and Donald Glover. And the Donald Glover sections would take place during this time period. And of course, Andor, which is a Rogue One prequel, and that show kicks off the next era. The Age of Rebellion, aka the original films. But Rebels and Rogue One have now created a lead up to those events, although Rogue One directly leads into A New Hope, which was so cool when it happened. I'll never forget that. It was amazing. And so, that's basically took place the same year. This all happens very quickly, although not as quickly as the new trilogy, but it happens very quickly as the original trilogy takes place over just 4 years. Then there's the New Republic, aka the Age of Mando. And since this takes place directly after the fall of the Empire and Return of the Jedi, it feels the most like the original Star Wars films, which is why people love it so much. So yes, The Mandalorian is set here, and its spin-off shows will be as well. The Book of Boba Fett, which is taking Mando's crew and Season 3 release spot at the end of this year, and was billed as the next chapter of The Mandalorian by Kathleen Kennedy. She said, the next chapter is coming, and surprise, it's the Book of Boba Fett. Rangers of the New Republic is set during this era, rumored to be a Cara Dune show, and of course, Ahsoka. Oh, I'm so excited. Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins' upcoming film, is also rumored to take place during this era, just like the recent video game does. This era is pretty big. It spans 30 years, although things must have gotten pretty dicey towards the end, because during the next era, the Empire is fully formed, and the Disney trilogy takes place over just the course of a single year. That's incredible. Maybe a bit of a mistake. But anyway, that's the rise of the First Order, and for now, the most hated era until somebody rehabilitates it. But Dave Filoni, speaking of rehabilitation, because he rehabilitated the prequels, Filoni's Resistance kicks off this era, which isn't so much hated as just made for very small children. In fact, I'm surprised Lucasfilm even included it here. I was like, what's Resistance? And I had to go look it up. So that's the Star Wars timeline. And again, when you look at it this way, it not only seems feasible, but exciting. What do you think? I can't believe how good this is. And I see real hope. This is a new hope. So what do you think? And which era or eras are you the most excited about? To me, they all seem pretty darn interesting. And I like the bigger picture that's emerging here. I like that a lot. I think it's excellent. So as I said, well done, Lucasfilm. It's great. What do you think? Share your thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.